Have you ever witnessed real-life apocalyptic zombies roaming downtown city streets? This might not be new to you. If you stand in the heart of downtown San Francisco or on the desolate pavements of Philadelphia, you will see thousands of Americans looking as though their souls have been completely vacuumed out. Their faces are covered in rotting ulcers, their spines violently contorted into grotesque angles, drifting across the pavement like moving corpses. They constantly nod, occasionally twitch, having lost all control of their excretory systems. Their clothes are permanently stained with the stench of human waste. What turned them into the walking dead is not a biological virus. It is a chemical demon called fentanyl, where a mere 2 milligrams, the weight of a few grains of salt, is enough to instantly send an adult to meet God. These victims are not traditional drug abusers seeking hedonistic indulgence or reckless thrills. They used to live perfectly normal lives as high-income professionals, intellectuals, parents, or children. They fell into this abyss because they trusted unscrupulous doctors and predatory pharmaceutical tycoons, believing they were taking safe, non-addictive painkillers. To make it worse, fentanyl is frequently laced into other everyday medications, leaving users completely unaware of what they are consuming. In reality, this synthetic opioid causes a lethal suppression of the respiratory system and nervous system, leading to respiratory arrest and brain hypoxia. It triggers catastrophic musculoskeletal damage, known nationwide as the Fentanyl Lean, along with systemic infections, tooth loss, and faces turning a suffocating shade of purple and gray.
The addiction is an absolute chokehold. If an addict does not consume it every hour, they plunge into a violent withdrawal. Unbearable body aches, tremors, drenching sweats, projectile vomiting, and severe dehydration. Any single one of these symptoms is enough to shatter the strongest human mind. You might assume that only a demoniacal criminal could engineer such a plague, yet the historical truth is far twisted. The inventor of fentanyl designed it with a holy purpose: to save patients from the raw agony of the operating table. Before 1960, old anesthetics were so slow and weak that patients frequently died from pure pain trauma during surgery. Fentanyl allowed surgeons to operate without hesitation, saving countless souls from shock-induced complications. The creator of fentanyl was Xian-Janssen, the most celebrated pharmacologist in Belgian history and a decorated national hero. Born in 1926, he passed away unexpectedly in Rome, Italy in 2003 at the age of 77. Graduating from Ghent University in 1951, Janssen completed his military service before joining his father's pharmaceutical company as the director of research. Blessed with prolific genius, he discovered haloperidol in 1958, a revolutionary antipsychotic medication. It offered zero pain relief, yet possessed an elite neuroleptic potency. This single discovery permanently transformed the treatment of schizophrenia and psychiatric disorders worldwide. It rendered barbaric straitjackets and electroshock therapies obsolete, ushering in the era of modern psychotherapy and social support. To this day, it remains on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines as the gold standard. Janssen was a titan of science. He and his colleagues developed over 80 life-saving medications, including fentanyl and risperidone, publishing over 850 papers and securing more than 100 patents. Knighted as a baron by the King of Belgium in 1990 and appointed to the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, he spent his entire existence transforming raw science into human hope. Yet, this chemical construct, birthed by a saint, possessed a terrifying reality. It was 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times stronger than heroin. Woven with an extreme lipophilic molecular coat, it gained a super passport through the blood-brain barrier, slamming into the central nervous system like a cruise missile. Inside the sterile theater of surgery, regulated strictly by medical experts, it was a miracle weapon. It brought Janssen a life free of financial worry, international prestige, and immortal honor. He closed his eyes in supreme glory.
But the legendary scientist could never have anticipated that half a century later, corporate greed would unleash this locked-up titan, allowing the demon to escape its cage and bloom into a multi-billion-dollar curse on the pavement of San Francisco. The force that dragged fentanyl out of the operating room and fed it to everyday citizens was never street-level cartels. It was America's massive legal corporate pharmaceutical cartels, backed by Wall Street. This was a meticulously engineered marketing scam, shifting exactly like a dark Hollywood conspiracy movie. In the 1990s, the medical giant Purdue Pharma developed OxyContin,
an opioid analgesic extracted from poppies designed for moderate to severe pain management. While it carried severe addiction and overdose risks, its chemical potency was still far lower than fentanyl. To maximize profit, these corporate overlords orchestrated a marketing scam engineered precisely like a dark Hollywood conspiracy movie. They bribed the medical establishment to invent a shameless pseudo-scientific mandate: pain is the fifth vital sign. They flooded the nation with aggressive ads and deceptive training manuals, claiming powerful opioids were safe, non-addictive, and universally necessary. CEOs engineered a system where reps carried buckets of cash and kickbacks to compromise physicians, even hiring attractive female reps to perform stripteases for doctors. Blinded by corporate greasing, doctors handed out OxyContin prescriptions like pamphlets. A narcotic once reserved for terminal cancer was now prescribed by the crate for basic back strains, menstrual cramps, or minor dental surgeries. Millions of working-class citizens were legally transformed into severe chemical addicts in their own homes, completely unaware. Big Pharma feasted on human agony, watching their stock prices soar 100-fold. It mirrors your modern workplace. Incompetent bosses painting illusions of promotions over drinks while leading you into a ruthless layoff trap. By the 2010s, as the body count became a national scandal, the government executed a sudden, blunt crackdown, stripping doctors of prescribing rights. But the institutional deception had already finished its execution. The neural pathways of millions had been permanently rewired. The second the legal supply vanished, starving addicts turned to the black market. This was the exact historical window where fentanyl stepped onto the global stage. With a business profile defined by cheap synthesis, microscopic costs, and amplified euphoria, illicitly manufactured fentanyl exploded around 2013, skyrocketing into the third wave of the opioid crisis. Transnational syndicates, such as Mexican cartels, realized that because fentanyl is entirely synthetic and independent of agriculture, it could be used as a cheap super booster. They secretly laced it into low-grade heroin and cocaine, or pressed it into counterfeit prescription pills designed to look exactly like real OxyContin.
This caused a vertical spike in overdose fatalities, as millions consumed lethal doses without ever knowing. A consumer monster, engineered entirely by American capitalists, was officially loose. Mexican cartels instantly smelled this vacuum market. But drug lords are not chaotic actors. They are elite logistical accountants. Heroin supply chains require vast agricultural plots, predictable weather, and farmers. Its heavy volume makes it easy prey for border control. Fentanyl, however, is purely synthetic. Cartels use it as a chemical amplifier, turning low-grade garbage into high-value street products, the chemical equivalent of transforming sewage into gourmet cuisine. They quickly established a flawless global ecosystem, using China's hyper-efficient chemical industry to source raw precursors, shipping them to Mexican hideouts for daily synthesis, and pumping them through secure narco channels into the veins of American consumers. Inside the regulated industrial parks of China's communist autocracy, thousands of manufacturing plants mass-produce industrial chemicals for plastics and pesticides at rock-bottom prices. To bypass customs, brilliant rogue chemists alter the molecular structure, attaching a single carbon atom to give the compound a legal disguise. On paper, it transforms into an innocent industrial cleaning agent. Shipped via commercial couriers like FedEx directly to Mexico, cartels subject these legal chemicals to a primitive acid wash inside jungle labs, stripping away the disguise to reconstitute pure, lethal fentanyl within hours. To the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping's evil regime, the massive export of these chemical precursors has long been weaponized as an ideal strategy of asymmetrical warfare against Washington. Xi Jinping's evil regime goes as far as directly subsidizing the production of these illicit materials, offering the highest state tax rebates, up to 13% for the export of 14 key fentanyl precursors. While the chemical sales generate negligible foreign currency, the strategic return is immense, killing tens of thousands of young Americans annually and paralyzing the United States with catastrophic social collapse and economic crises. For this authoritarian regime, it is a far cleaner, cheaper, and more devastating option than launching an ICBM. To the Mexican syndicates, this is a zero-risk gold mine. Purchasing chemicals from China is literally cheaper than buying baking flour, generating a deluge of illicit U.S. cash powerful enough to buy local and federal elections across Mexico. As superpowers trade diplomatic blame, transnational money laundering networks execute the perfect financial camouflage.
cash bypasses the Western banking infrastructure entirely, bartered on the high seas via cryptocurrency and smuggled consumer goods. During the light diplomatic posturing of the Biden administration, Washington tried to use geopolitical pressure to curb Chinese exports, but Xi Jinping's evil regime practiced systematic non-compliance, weaponizing the drug epidemic as a bargaining chip in negotiations. With the Trump administration, the strategy shifted to aggressive global tariffs and border ultimatums, forcing Mexico to deploy military force against cartel strongholds, while threatening China's economy to demand immediate, measurable reductions in chemical exports. Though this economic siege has choked the fentanyl supply by 1/3 to 1/2, the systemic degradation and social decay inside the United States will take decades to heal.
Paul Janssen, one of the most innovative and revered giants of the 20th century medicine, passed away in 2003. He could never have comprehended that a decade after his death, fentanyl, the crowning achievement of his career, alongside 80 other life-saving compounds, would mutate into a horrific chemical miasma, slaughtering millions of young Americans. In a twist of supreme historic irony, Janssen, driven by profound humanitarianism, broke through the political isolation of 1985 to found Xian-Janssen Pharmaceutical in China, bringing cutting-edge healthcare to the Eastern world behind the Iron Curtain. The noble scientist could never have foreseen that the world-class chemical manufacturing infrastructure he catalyzed across the ocean would eventually react with American corporate greed, cartel logistics, and the political calculation of Xi Jinping's evil regime to form a deadly scythe harvesting American lives across the Pacific. His true legacy is unveiled to the 21st century in the most terrifying way imaginable. If an all-knowing God truly presides over the cosmos, standing at the crossroads of existence, how should he orchestrate this genius's next reincarnation? Should he let him return as a modern, ruthless commander to execute divine vengeance upon the true architects of this plague? The American pharma executives who commercialized addiction, the calculating Mexican cartels, and the evil regime of Xi Jinping that subsidized chemical warfare, forcing them to pay their blood debts? Or should he let him return as an even greater master of medicine, a supreme healer designed to engineer a cure for addiction and rescue the millions of contorted, decaying souls on the pavements of San Francisco? More importantly, when the fires of Judgment Day descend, who should God condemn? The scientist who unlocked a molecular structure out of pure mercy? The pharmaceutical barons who monetized an epidemic for stock valuation? The syndicates who treat mass death as a line item expense? Or the cynical politicians who chose to close their eyes and look away to fulfill their Cold War asymmetric ambitions? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is WTF Past Lives. We unearth these devastating historical chapters to expose the underlying roots of modern systemic oppression and societal rot. This is not an elegy for suffering, but a clinical mirror to your present life, proving that the corporate politics, the systemic gridlocks, and the illusions painted by your bosses today are not as insurmountable as they seem. You can utilize these historical echoes of gods bleeding in the dark machinery of capitalism and global warfare to contemplate, if given another chance at existence, how will you protect your core convictions and make your life truly beautiful? See you in the next past life. Bye-bye.
Hey, still here? Enjoying the despair of your past life, aren't you? Did that past life make you shout WTF inside? If yes, welcome back. You've regained your memory. Trust me, you are so much happier now. Since you survived, support this down-and-out angel. Like and subscribe to keep the updates flowing. It won't send you to heaven, but it lets me stay here with you in hell. See ya.